One of the hardest situations I see, it's this. Someone's tried a lot of things and nothing seems to last. They get some relief, they feel hopeful for a bit, and then the pain comes back again. After a while, it stops feeling like a simple problem and starts feeling like something they're just going to have to live with. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. A lot of people who come in have already done quite a bit. They've tried different treatments, different providers, different exercises, different strategies. Some things helped temporarily, some didn't help much at all. But the common theme is that the results didn't hold. And over time, that becomes frustrating, confusing, and honestly, discouraging. At that point, people often start asking bigger questions. Why hasn't this gone away? Is there something I'm missing? Is this just how my body is now? They're very real questions, and they deserve better answers than just continuing to repeat the same approaches. One of the biggest reasons people stay stuck is not because they're doing the wrong things, but because they're often addressing the same layer of the problem over and over again. Many common approaches are very good at reducing symptoms. They can decrease pain, reduce tension, and improve comfort in the short term. But if the underlying pattern hasn't changed, the body tends to return to it. Over time, that creates the cycle of temporary improvement followed by recurrence. Another factor is timing. When something first starts, the body's usually more adaptable, most cases. It can recover, reset, and respond more quickly. But when a pattern's been present for months or years, the body begins to normalize it. Muscles stay tighter as a default. Movement becomes more restricted. Compensation patterns become more ingrained. The nervous system becomes more familiar with that state. And at that point, it's no longer just about a simple irritation, it's about a learned pattern. That doesn't mean it can't change though. It just means the approach has to match the depth of the pattern. Trying to apply short-term solutions to long-standing issues is often where people get stuck. It's not that those tools are wrong, it's that they're incomplete for what the body is now dealing with. There's also the factor of accumulation. Pain that lasts longer is rarely about one single cause. It's usually a combo of things that have built up over time. Physical stress, posture, repetitive strain, old injuries. Emotional stress, which can keep the body in a more guarded state. Chemical stress, like poor sleep, inflammation, lack of recovery. When those layers stack together, the overall load in the system increases, and the symptoms typically become more persistent. Another piece that often gets missed is that the body adapts even when it's not fully recovering. It finds ways to keep you functioning. It compensates. It shifts load. It protects certain areas. It's helpful in the short term, but over time, those compensations can become the new normal. And once that happens, simply reducing pain doesn't undo the pattern that created it. This is why people feel like they're doing everything right, but still not getting lasting results. They're consistent, they're trying, they're putting in effort. But the focus has been on managing symptoms instead of changing the system that keeps producing them. It's a very different target. In situations like this, the shift usually comes from looking at the problem differently, right? Instead of asking, what haven't I tried yet? The better question becomes, what hasn't changed? What hasn't actually changed yet? Has movement improved? Has the way the body distributes load improved? Has the nervous system become less reactive? Has recovery improved? Or has the same pattern simply been managed more comfortably? Because lasting change usually comes from improving how the system functions, not just how it feels in the moment, right? That means looking at movement patterns, spinal mechanics, compensation strategies, and how the nervous system is adapting under stress. It also means recognizing that longer standing issues, they often require a more consistent and structured approach, not just occasional relief. It's also important to say this clearly. Being stuck doesn't mean you're broken. It usually means the body has adapted to a pattern that hasn't been fully addressed yet. And with the right approach, those patterns can change. It may take more time than something acute, but change is still possible. For many people, the turning point is simply understanding that the goal is not to keep chasing relief, but to improve function in a way that holds. And when that starts to happen, symptoms often become less frequent, less intense, less limiting over time, and that's when people start to feel like they're finally moving forward again, instead of repeating the same cycle over and over. If you've been dealing with something for months or years or haven't been able to get lasting results, maybe we should take a look at what pattern is still in place. If it makes sense, we can get connected and figure out what hasn't changed yet and what needs to. Comment heal below. Let's get connected and let's see how we might be able to help.